Okay, so we are going to present this seminar on Rasa, and this is an interesting topic. As you know, this name is Rasa. The aim of pure devotional life is Rasa, or Prema, love of God. There is a fine distinction between love, Prem and Rasa that we'll talk in just a moment. But of course, as far as goal is concerned, Prema and Rasa are almost the same as far as goal is concerned. Now, what is Rasa? We have to understand that. Here in this slide you can see Rasa means, why do we need Rasa? First of all, this is the point. Now, Rasa is not only, this term is not only connected with devotional life, it is connected with everyday life also. Now, these books, if you can see, 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗙 these books were given by Lord Brahma to Bharat Muni, and he wrote these books, and he for the first time revealed to this world what is Rasa, what is bliss. Rasa in literal English means bliss, or Prabhupada translates as transcendental mellows. That's Rasa. Everybody needs bliss, everybody needs entertainment, everybody needs enjoyment. That's what is life for. And this so Natya Shastra means dance, drama, music, and that's the primary means for attaining bliss and happiness in this material world. So Rasa is not only connected with spiritual world, but this term is also connected with material realm also. So you can see this that photograph on the slide of Lord Shiva on the bull. Lord Shiva, he also propounded one scripture named as Kama Sutra. So there is Rasa in Kama also, in lust there is Rasa, in dance and music there is Rasa, in money there is special bliss in earning money. So this term comes in all Shastras. In Kama Sutra this term comes, in Artha Shastra this term comes, specifically in Natya Shastra, dance music, this term appears. But this is connected to this material realm. What about spiritual world? But before that, let's see this slide. This term also appears in Vedas, because the term Rasa is also connected with spiritual realm. Of course, if there is bliss in this material world, that is a minute reflection of the bliss in spiritual world. And spiritual world without bliss, what's the point? Spiritual without bliss is not spiritual bliss, spiritual word. God without bliss is not God. And that is why we can see in this slide that God is defined in 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 Upanishad as Raso Vai Saha. This is the definition of God. God is bliss. God is a reservoir of all pleasure, as Prabhupada used to say. There is no suffering in God. There is no miseries. There are no sins. God doesn't know any distress and unhappiness. He is full of pleasure. Anybody who comes in contact with him, he becomes full of bliss. Raso vaisa rasam hi evayam ladvanandi bhavati. This is what 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 Upanishad says. In Vedanta Sutra, when this sutra comes in this slide, first for 1.1.12, Anandmayo Abhyasat. This is a sutra. Anandmayo Abhyasat means God is full of Ananda. This is, God is Ananda. That's the meaning of this verse. Our bodies are made of 5 elements. Sun God, his body is made of fire element. Varun Dev, his body is made of water element. But God's body is made of bliss and Rasa. And that is why it's important to know what is Rasa. Because without knowing what is Rasa, we cannot understand what is God. Without understanding what is God, who is God, we cannot attain him. So this term comes in Vedas. This term also comes in Atharvaveda for the first time. We can see the slide. There are 8 rasas which are mentioned in Atharvaveda: Madhurya Ras, Sakhe, Vatsalya, Dasya, Shantra. These are 5 primary rasas, and then other 3 rasas, secondary rasas. Some people say 7 secondary rasas. There's some counting difference, but all these concepts appear in Vedic scriptures. What about our Gaudiya Vaishnavism? Of course, spirituality, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's contribution is unique. His messenger was Rupa Goswami, as you can see in the slide. And Mahaprabhu, through Rupa Goswami, he first of all revealed this concept of rasa within devotional life. Previous acharyas, they gave this concept of rasa, but it was not that blossomed. It was hidden. It was hidden. It was covered, and it was not well developed. There were here and there a mention of this concept within the poems of Sri Vaishnavacharyas. So for example, Divya Prabandham, if you read poems of Sri Vaishnavacharyas, there is rasa there is bliss, there is mention of all these things, but there was no scientific and systematic explanation of rasa anywhere. And that, for the first time, Rupa Goswami has revealed to us in his book Nectar of Devotion and Padyavali. These two books, Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami's book, there's his main work, Nectar of Devotion, and also Padyavali, which is collection of verses of various saints. So Rupa Goswami mentions this concept of rasa in a scientific and systematic manner. Nobody thought that how we can define this term rasa. We can't even, people couldn't even think how to define love, prema. That was also, people couldn't really think. Many philosophers before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they said love is undefinable, it is inconceivable, you have to feel. Our acharyas, Vaishnavacharyas, Madhvacharya, Ramanacharya, Vallabhacharya, they also gave some definition of love, but nobody defined love. Nobody defined love, but Rupa Goswami did. In his Nectar of Devotion, first Eastern section, 4th chapter, 1st verse, Rupa Goswami gives definition of love, 1.4.1. And that's a beautiful definition of love Rupa Goswami gives. Rupa Goswami says the definition of love, so we'll talk about that in a few moments. But he also, after devotee achieves love, then he experiences rasa. Before achieving love, before attaining love, nobody experiences rasas. For example, if you love some your friend or some devotee or whatever, or a female or a girlfriend, after you love him, after you develop a relationship with them, then you enjoy that relationship, isn't it? So after you develop love for Krishna, then you experience rasa. By the way, Jiva Goswami says in Nectar of Devotion, in one of his verses, that devotees, it takes, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj used to mention, it takes 3 lives to attain love. First life will go in offenses, so in clearing of offenses against holy name. Second life will be just spent in the stage of namabhas, where people will try to get rid of offenses. They'll try hard. And third life, they will attain Krishna Prem. And next life, fourth life, they will experience rasa. This is what Jiva Goswami says. But Vishwan Chakra Thakur comments, don't be depressed, because you should always remember Krishna can do impossible possible. That's what Krishna can do. He can do anything. He can compress 4 lives in 1 life. He can expand 1 life in millions of lives. He can do anything. So that's Krishna. Krishna's mercy can do anything. He can experience rasa within this life, provided we are sincere and we work hard. That's the point. How to achieve rasa, that we'll talk in a few moments. But this is a distinction between rasa and love. And this is defined in these 2 books. Definition of love is, I'm not going to discuss in this seminar, but definition of love Rupa Goswami gives, 1st chapter, 1st wave, 1.4.1. He says the definition of love is mamta 𝗙𝗂𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. When you develop intense possessiveness for the Lord, mamta 𝗙𝗂𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. And you develop sandranatma bhava, when emotions are very intense, emotions of service attitude, they are very intense. And when there is desire to meet Lord, serve Him, and develop a relationship with Him, that is called love. And what is the definition of rasa? Rupa Goswami gives definition of rasa in this book. This is the definition of rasa, 1.11, Bhakti Rasamrita. Bhakti Rasamrita 𝗪𝗍. Bhakti Rasamrita 𝗪𝗍. This is a commentary written by Jiva Goswami on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, as held by some of the researchers. Some people say this book is written by Jiva Goswami, some people say some other acharya. But whatever it is, this is a commentary on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, a concise commentary, and also an independent treatise on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And 1.11, it gives the definition of rasa. And what is the definition of rasa? Rase saras chamatkara sarvatra api upalabhyate tasmad adbhutam evaha kriti narayano rasam. What is rasa? This verse says, Jiva Goswami says, rasa means Narayana. Krishna is rasa. First thing you should note. This is definition of rasa. Second point you have to note is rasa, rase saras. Rasa has two components. One is sara. Sara means essence. Essence of all philosophy. When a person can experience the essence of all philosophy, when he knows philosophy inside out, when he has full renunciation in his senses, when he has full service attitude, then he can experience rasa, not before that. So that is sar. Sar means essence. Sar means 𝗪𝗏 iti sara. Sar means the essence of essence. Just like Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all scriptures. So the most important things of all scriptures are there in Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, when we can understand, when we read all scriptures, when we can take out all the important things, keep it in our heart, realize them, then we are eligible to experience rasa. So that's one component of rasa. Rasa means essence. The second component of rasa, as seen in this verse, is Chamatkara. This is the verse, it also appears in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami speaks in Chaitanamrita Adi Leela. He says, Siddhant, so that's another verse. He says, if you understand the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya, Chamatkar will happen in your heart. So what that means? Chamatkar in literal sense, it means magic. What does Chamatkar means? Chamatkar means, according to 𝗪देव विद्याभूषण, 𝗪देव विद्याभूषण has written a book, 𝗙𝗲𝗪 𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀. Kavi Karnpurn Das, he's another associate of Lord Chaitanya, has written a book, Alankar 𝗪𝗪. So what does 𝗪देव विद्याभूषण writes? These two books are dealing with rasa, more detailed conception of rasa. So what does 𝗪देव विद्याभूषण writes in his book 𝗙𝗪 𝗪𝗪𝗪? He writes, what is rasa? Rasa is Chamatkara. What is Chamatkar? Chamatkar means magic. And what does that happen? That happens when people have yukti. This term yukti is there. So what do you mean by yukti? Yukti literally translates as logic. Or it can also translate as creativeness. Yukti. Because yukti is not ordinary logic. Yukti is not ordinary logic. Yukti is that kind of logic which can harmonize two contradictions. That is yukti. There is some logic, so you have some mathematical logics, you have some logics in English language, but this is logic which will help you to harmonize contradictions. And Krishna is full of contradictions. That's what Vallabhacharya says. Viruddha dharma ashraya. Krishna has all contradictory qualities. Krishna walks, he doesn't walk. Tad ijjati, tad na ijjati. He sees, he doesn't see. He is brahmachari, he is kamachari. He does raslila. So he is doing so many things which might appear contradictory. He is serious, dhira prashant. He is comedian, dhira lalit. So this is called yukti. This is what is the meaning of yukti. Logic that harmonizes contradictions. So this kind of yukti, this kind of logic will give rasa. This will create chamatkara. And to do this, to harmonize contradictions, you need creativity. Isn't it? It's not easy to harmonize contradictions. You need creative mind. You need a creative outlook. which is provided by scriptures again. So these are two components of rasa. One is sara, when you can understand the essence of all scriptures, when you are able to catch the most important points of scriptures, when you are no longer like a donkey, when you are no longer carrying the load of scriptures, you can understand what is most important for advancement in spiritual life. When you can realize that is called sara. And when you can understand yukti, when you can harmonize contradictions, that is called as chamatkara. When these two things combine, essence and logic, essence and yukti, sara and chamatkara, then there is rasa. 𝗙𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗃 𝗪𝗡𝗋. Then you can understand rasa. Then you can experience rasa sarvatra. Everywhere you see, you will experience rasa, because you will be able to perceive Supreme Lord wherever you see. Jahan dekhi dekhaye kalindi. Jahan dekhi, oh yeah. So whenever Mahaprabhu used to see, oh, jahan dekhi dekhaye Vajendra Nandan. Wherever he used to see, he used to perceive Lord Krishna. Whenever he used to see river, he used to perceive Yamuna. Whenever he used to see any mountain, he used to perceive Govardhan. So that is what is rasa. This is the definition of rasa. It's a beautiful definition. Devotees might think rasa means some sentimental craziness, whatever, some divine euphoria, but it doesn't go like that. This is what is contribution of Mahaprabhu. That's why Mahaprabhu is said Namo Mahavadanyaya. Prabhupada always said it is science. Prabhupada never said it is dance. You can dance, but Prabhupada said that Krishna consciousness is science. There is dance, but there is science, there is logic, there is systematic understanding that Mahaprabhu gave. That is why Rupa Goswami called him the most magnanimous avatar. So this is what is rasa. Now Chaitanya Charitamrita raises one question. Why do we want to know what is rasa? Question is this. Now this slide shows why do we want to know something about rasa. The point is this. Chaitanya Adi Lila 1.5. This is a famous verse everybody knows. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Haladini Shakti Rasmat. This verse says that initially Radha Krishna were one, and then they were two separate, and then they became one, and then were known. They appeared as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is what is Radha Krishna. But what is Radha Krishna? Pranaya Vikriti. What is the relationship between Radha Krishna? That's love. The bond between Radha Krishna is the bond of rasa and love, pure bliss. Now, why do we want to know something about rasa? Not because of our sense enjoyment. We don't want to know about rasa because we want to know about rasa. We want to feel bliss. Well, who are you? You're not so important. So why we want to know something about rasa? Because we want to serve Radha Krishna. Now this is very, very cool, very important point, very simple point. If you want to serve a businessman, you have to know what is business, isn't it? Simple. If you want to serve a big musician, you should know music. If you want to appreciate a musician, you should know music. If you want to appreciate a businessman, film actor, you should know some kind of knowledge. You should have knowledge of film. You should have knowledge of business. Otherwise, you will not be able to appreciate. So many people, I meet many devotees. I say, okay, I write books. I've written some book. They say, okay, that's nice. They can't appreciate how much endeavor it takes even to write one line. But people who write books, when I meet them, when I say I write a book, they say, this is so nice, you write a book, because they know how much difficult it is to write book. They can appreciate. So why we need to have knowledge of rasa? Because of two reasons. To appreciate the bond between Radha and Krishna, the bond of rasa which they have, and second, to serve them properly. That's why we should have knowledge of rasa, not for sense enjoyment, not for sense gratification. That's not the purpose. Anything to do with self is sense enjoyment. Anything to do with Radha Krishna, that's devotion. That's the essence of devotion. And last is how to achieve rasa. This is the famous verse from Padyavali. I showed that book, Rupa Goswami, Padyavali. This is in Padyavali, Rupa Goswami says this famous verse quoted by Prabhupada: Krishna Bhakti Ras bhavitamati kriyetam yadi kutopi labhyate tatra laulyam ekalam api mulyam na labhyate janma kritivi sukritivi. So Rupa Goswami says in Patyavali, how to attain rasa? Simple. You have to spend some money? No. You have to climb mountains? No. You should have one thing. One thing. What is that? Lobha, greed. You should have greed. What is that greed? What is that greed? So Rupa Goswami says, Tatra laulyam api ekalam mulyam. What is that greed? He gives that example. If you go to any shop, and if they say, I have rasa, and if you say, okay, fine, give me that, and then he says, okay, the price is, you have to give me your head, you have to cut your head and give me. What is greed? Immediately you take a knife, you cut your head, give him, okay, give me that rasa. That's is the greed to attain rasa. You're ready to lay down your life, but devotee wants love. That is a greed, at any cost, even at the cost of his own life. He can die millions of lives, he can lay down millions of lives, but he wants love. This kind of greed and enthusiasm should be there in the heart. I want love at whatever cost it is. I'm ready to do anything, but I want love. I want Krishna, I want rasa. But this kind of greed is very difficult to attain. Na labhyate janma sukrutui. Even many lifetimes of service may not actually lead you to attain that greed. That this greed to achieve rasa is special mercy of Lord, and rasa is special gift of Lord. That we can understand. When a devotee serves Krishna very sincerely, Krishna is satisfied in all respects, then Krishna will give one gift. Devotee will say, oh my dear Krishna, what gift you are giving? Krishna will say, I'll give you one gift which is available nowhere. No shop, no scriptures, I'll give you that. What is that? That is greed to attain love and rasa. Once that greed comes, you have attained love. Simple. You have attained rasa. That's all. This is what we want. And how do we get it? By sincere service. By association with devotees. Service in the association of devotees. We have to associate with devotees who have this greed. And the synonym for greed is enthusiasm. That's the synonym of greed, enthusiasm. So we should have enthusiasm to serve, enthusiasm to achieve Krishna. That is what is required. That's what we need. And we have to associate with devotees who are enthusiastic. Enthusiastic means super enthusiastic to serve Krishna. So it's a super duper enthusiastic, whatever you have to have. And that will develop one day into greed. That will please Krishna. Krishna will give greed to attain rasa and love, and then by the power of that greed we will attain love, and then consequently we will experience rasa. That's what is all about rasa. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗶. Thank you for listening to this seminar. Hare Krishna.